Well, I've been asked a lot recently if you can use fabric in your resin, and the answer to it is yes. Now, there are a couple of things that I do before I put fabric in resin to ensure that I get the best result and the fewest amount of bubbles, and I'm going to show you that as a comparison here, but I'm also going to show you some projects as well where you can use it. Now, I've got some beautiful ribbon here, which is very what I would consider to be loosely woven. So you're going to definitely get bubbles trapped in that are going to come out if you're not careful. And I've also got some material here that I've purchased that I love that I'm going to make a quilt out of over on my other channels, Steve McDonald Crafting. If you haven't been on that channel, check it out. I do lots of different crafting ideas on that one and upcycling things. So let's choose a bit of material, and this is cotton, so I'm going to use that one. I think that's a really pretty pattern for the back. I'm not going to need a great deal of it for this. I will link where I got all these from, so if you want to get hold of some, you can. Now it's just a case of finding me scissors. I did put them down somewhere safely, but you know what it's like. Am I the only one? Do you put things down safe where and then you can never find them? Can't be the only one. I bet these scissors aren't sharp enough to cut this. No, I'll have to go and get me dressmaking scissors. And I'll have to go and put these all away so I don't end up getting resin over everything, because if not, I will. I know what I'm like. Well, the first thing I need to do for this is to measure it out how much I need. Now, I'm going to put that in there as a background. And all I'm going to do is cut these out. So if I cut these roughly the right length, so we're going to be about there. I can trim that up in a second. And now what I'm going to do is just trim down that line like that. And now I just need to make sure I've got it the right length. So I need to square that up, and I'm going to use the lines to square it up with. That's going to be much easier to do. So there's that line there. These are so popular as well, this type of bookmark. Amazing. I'll link those in the description below as well so you can get hold of those. And it fits perfectly. Oh, I couldn't have done that neater if I'd have tried. And now what I'm going to do is cut out some more for these ones. And also cut out some material for this coaster as well, so it fits in there really well. I've got my material cut out now, and I'm not going to make a whole set of these because one, I'm going to try and show you how it can go wrong. The same with these. I'm only going to make two. I'm going to do one correctly and one incorrectly, or how I do it. So these are the two that I'm just going to put in as they are, and these are the two that I'm going to work on first. Before I do anything else, I want to cut myself a little bit of baking waxed paper, parchment paper, whatever it's called, because I don't want to work directly on my mat for this. And all I need to start with is some varnish. Now, you can use a spray-on varnish for this, but I don't think it works as well. I prefer to use a brush-on varnish on this because it gets into the material a lot better and seals it a lot better. I'm using a satin varnish here. See? Satin varnish that I've put into a little pot rather than having it in the tin. So, because it really annoys me when it's in the tin and it goes all rusty. You do need to make sure, although this is an acrylic, so it's a water-based varnish, you do need to make sure that your material you're using is colour fast. So check that first. And all I do is go over it with a really good layer of varnish, all in one direction to start with. As you can see, I'm going from bottom to top with this one, making sure I cover everywhere. And I'm pushing that into the weave of the material as well. And I'll take that, I'll turn it over and pop that there for a second. And then I'll do the same with this tartan ribbon. And then I'll turn it over. And then once I've turned it over, so I would have had it going up and down this way. This time, on the face of it, I'm going to go over it one more time and go the opposite direction. So I'm going side to side now. Now I'll go back up and down. And then I'm going to last one side to side. Get that off there, just so it doesn't stick so hard to it. And now all I have to do is wait for them to dry before I do the next stage. And like these ones, nothing's done to them. These are dry now. Took about 10 minutes to dry. I did blast them with the hairdryer and that speeded them up a little bit. Now this time, all I'm doing, this is the last coat I'm doing, going over it one more time this way on the front, just in case I missed anywhere. Then back that way and then back that way. You want to keep these flat because when they dry, you don't want bits that are sticking up. And then on the back, I'm going to quickly do the same. If you're going to do them, I would prep quite a few in one go. It saves a lot of time. You just prep them, let them dry, and then you're ready to use them. And the same for this one. And then we'll just let them dry again. I'll blast them with a hairdryer. While they're drying, I've popped them onto something. It's not very heavy. And I can prep these now. All I'm using is some damming tape. Now, I like to ensure that my damming tape is down fully. And as you know, I usually go over it with a pencil or something else and just rub that down like that. Going all the way around. I don't want any leaks. I'm using epoxy resin on these today, where these bookmarks normally, to be honest, I use UV resin. I've got a bit of a crinkle in there now. The reason I heat it up is because it allows the glue to get a bit more sticky. There we go. I've got rid of that crinkle now, which is great. Look, there's now a nice flat and tight back because I don't want that crinkle showing up at the end. And now I can go around making sure that's down. And this is the one with the varnish. So if I write varnish on the back of that one, I know, and I'll also write varnish on the back of this as well. I'll do the same with this one, and then I will show you what next. So now it's time to mix up my resin. I'm going to be using the Crystal Clear by T-Expert. I love this resin. It's a really good resin, and I find it works very well for coasters and things. I'm not going to need much of it. I've only got 2 coasters to fill and 2 of these. So I'm going to get and mix that up right now. So to prevent any bubbles to start with, so we can give it a fair show as well, I'm putting it in my degasser by Resiners. And all I'm going to do is pop it in there for 5 minutes because I want it to be as clear as I possibly can have it before I pour it. Well, I've degassed those, and as you can see, they're all lovely and clear now, which is where I want them. Now, what I'm going to do is pour a little bit in here to start with. That varnish is written on the underside, thank goodness, because if not, that would come out on the resin. I don't want to fill these up yet, but I do want that to spread out and make one even even level on there. So let's take a stick, push that to the edge, way around. Now we've got 1 or 2 bubbles that have stuck to the bottom from the pouring. I'm going to dislodge those. I want it to be a fair test because I might be wasting my time here, spending my time and energy actually sealing these if they don't need sealing. So we will see. I always do it. So, right, I can't see any there. Now, I'll burst them with a long neck lighter in a minute. A few on this one. You could use a torch on these if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. I don't want to melt the plastic either. Still bubble stuck on that one. Oh, no, it's not. It's a bit of contamination of something. Oh, dear. I'm the most untidiest person. These shouldn't leak at all because we've made sure that we've put them down really well. Can't see a single bubble on that one, which is great. And now what I would do is I would dip my piece of ribbon in the resin and make sure that I've covered the whole of the back of it with some resin before I pop it in. And this is the one with the varnish on. I've not put colour or anything behind this because I don't think that's a fair test. I think we've got to show it how it is. Oh, look, I haven't cut that one properly. Remember to cut the strip down the side. Oh, let's do that now. Oh, I'm going to get resin all over me scissors and everywhere, but I'll have to do them again. I'll have to make sure I give them a good clean. Okay, that should be all right. I will give them a good clean in a minute. And I would normally pop some flowers or something similar on this and have this as the backing. I'm not going to today because I want to be able to completely show you what this looks like. Trim this one up again before I get carried away. And then I go along it like this to try and release any bubbles that have got trapped underneath. And then I'll top it up. Would have been better if I'd have cut that to the right size. I thought I had, but obviously I hadn't. And then this one, which is also the one that has got no varnish on, I'm going to do that same thing with it as well by dipping it in the resin first and squeezing that off and then popping that in. Oh, look, that one fits. That one's too small. Well, it don't matter, do it. It's only an experiment for you. Again, run my tweezers up and down it to remove any bubbles and then top it up. And this one is floating already a little bit more than the other one. This one is staying put much better. I'm going to give my scissors a good spray with this big wipe spray now and leave them to sit so that no resin cures, and then I'll be able to clean these up really well. This is the best stuff I know for cleaning tools up like that. I use this for my hands. It's really gentle and it's designed for epoxy resin. So if I ever get any on my skin, that's what I use. Move those out of the way so I don't ruin them. And we'll go over those with a long neck lighter in a minute, and then we will leave them. I'm only going to go over them once because if it produces any bubbles, we want to be able to see them. So I won't go over it again in another 5 minutes. And then I'm going to do exactly the same with these. Normally I'd put a colour on the bottom of this, a white or some colour. Half fill them. Let that go all the way to the edge. Knock off any bubbles that have got caught in these edges. Burn those off. Any more? And again, I'm going to pop some resin on the back of this. Rub that all the way over. Pop that in there. This is the one with the varnish on. Use my tweezers to remove any bubbles, hopefully. The ones that are varnished are a lot more rigid and they really are staying in place much better. So even if it doesn't make a difference to the bubbles, I will probably still do it because it's easier to handle and it's much easier to control. There we go, that's on there. Go over that again. And now we can fill that right up. And we can fill this one right up. See, I can already see loads and loads. I don't know if you can see it, but I can already see loads and loads of bubbles coming out of this one. Let me bring the camera right in. So this one is releasing tons of little micro bubbles at the moment, and this one hasn't released any yet. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to go over it once with a long neck lighter and then leave it to do its thing. Well, these have all cured now, and I'm really, really pleased with this experiment. Let me just take the backing off this and we can get a better view. This is the one with varnish. Now, I did over pour this, but that is easy to rectify. You can just pick that off there, and it should just come off. A bit there as well. So that's the one with the varnish on. It doesn't really seem to have made much difference with that one from the front or the back. So the ribbon, which is a very loose weave, seems to have done fine. No bubbles come up. One or two on the edge here, but no bubbles have come up and they look fine. So don't really need to do it. But look at the difference between this. This is the one that I used with the varnish, and this is the one that I used without the varnish. Firstly, you can see there's nowhere near as much clarity in the print. It has definitely merged that print a little bit more on the resin. And regarding bubbles, there are quite a few bubbles all over this one. Can you see them that have come out? There's some at the top, there's some there, there's one there, couple there, some all the way down there. Where on this one, there's not a single bubble that's come through the top. So if you had a dark base, like I said, I normally put a coloured base under these, you're going to have a much, much clearer pattern. Also, there's only one trap bubble, and that's because I didn't push it away enough. But on this one, there's loads of trap bubbles. But you wouldn't even see that so much if you had a darker or a white base underneath. I can't believe how much difference there is in the quality of how the print looks. Varnishing it really does make a massive difference. Not quite sure if my camera's picking that up as well as it should. But this is a lot crisper, a lot neater, and sat in the mould much better. So varnishing, I'm not going to stop. I'm always going to do it. I'm probably going to do it for small things like this as well, because not everything is going to have a really wide weave like that one. But I do love the way the bookmarks come out. Normally I'd have little bits of flower and all those sorts of things. I wouldn't just have a plain colour. There is one bubble there, actually. I had missed. Oh no, there's more than one. I hadn't seen them. I'm not sure if that's coming out. There's one there, one there, one there. On this one, it's because it's sitting in the lines. Can you see them? 1, 2, 3, 4 bubbles there, but they've not really affected it too much, where there is 0 in that one, which makes a big difference. So I'm definitely going to continue on using the varnishing method. It works for me 99% of the time. Only time it doesn't work is if I've got a bit where I've missed, and it allows you to put most cloths into resin without any problems. Hope you've enjoyed that. Check out the video I've got coming up next. It's an experiment, and I'm sure that you're going to love this one as well, and it will help you if you want different colors in your resin. Boot that like button, hit that subscribe button, and if you can, share this on social media. It really helps my videos get out there. Most of all, enjoy your resin. Take care. Bye.